I was dropping off a DoorDash order when I saw my girlfriend slide out a luxury car. The man she was clinging to was worth more than my entire existence. I froze, not daring to honk the horn. That night, she texted me. "If you saw, then you know. Let's break up." I replied, "Fine." 3 months later, she knocked on my door in the middle of the night. "Got a light." I flicked my Zippo lighter open. "Just a smoke, and then you're going?" She blew a smoke ring into the damp air. "Unless you want me staying in this dump for the holidays?" I laughed. "True, I don't have the square footage for you." She suddenly stubbed out the cigarette. "Caleb, aren't you going to ask why I came back?" I looked at her and said nothing. My phone vibrated in my pocket for the third time. I balanced my e-bike on one leg and fished it out. A text from Audrey. "I want soup tonight. Bring back some lobster bisque from that place downtown when you clock off." Followed by a heart eyes emoji. I typed back, "Okay," and shoved the phone back in. I checked the GPS. Next stop was Lakeview Towers. High-end, gated community. The doorman grilled me for 5 minutes before letting me through. I found the building, killed the motor, and walked toward the lobby with the thermal bag. The glass doors reflected the streetlights, making me squint. That's when I saw the black sedan. A Bentley, parked aggressively right in front of the entrance. Someone stepped out, high heels, legs straight and pale. I stopped dead. It was too familiar. That dress was bought with my bonus last month. She said she was wearing it to a team dinner. Audrey closed the car door, bending down to smile at the person inside. The window was down. A hand reached out, caressing her cheek. She leaned in and kissed the hand. Then she stepped back, waving. The car didn't move. She turned to walk toward the lobby. I stood there, gripping the food bag, motionless. She pushed the door open and almost ran into me. She looked up, startled. The smile on her face stiffened and vanished instantly. "Caleb." "Yeah," I grunted. "Why are you?" "Delivering here." "Work." I lifted the bag slightly. "Mrs. Higgins, 17th floor." She pursed her lips, glancing at my beat-up e-bike behind me. "Well, you better hurry. Don't be late." I turned sideways to let her pass. She smelled like a strange cologne, sandalwood, very overpowering. When I came back down from the 17th floor, the Bentley was gone. Audrey wasn't in the lobby either. I rode out of the complex. The doorman didn't stop me this time. My phone buzzed again. "Audrey, make sure they don't put chives in the bisque, remember?" I didn't reply. I didn't clock out until after 9. I swung by the bistro I usually picked up from and ordered the lobster bisque to go. The chef habitually sprinkled a handful of chives on top. I paused, but didn't say anything. When I got home and pushed the door open, Audrey was curled up on the couch watching TV. Hearing me, she turned around. "I am exhausted. Overtime until just now." I put the soup on the table. "Eat it while it's hot." She shuffled over in her slippers and opened the container. Seeing the green specks, she frowned. "I told you no chives." "Forgot," I said, taking off my jacket and heading to the balcony to bring in the laundry. "I've told you so many times, and you never remember," she muttered behind me. I walked back in with an armful of clothes. She was picking out the chives, fishing them out one by one. Her phone was lit up on the table. A notification popped up. The contact name was Mr. Thorne. "Wear that red dress I gave you tomorrow." She quickly locked the screen and looked up at me. "What?" I shook my head and started folding clothes. She lowered her head to eat the soup, quiet for a moment. "Caleb, our team just took on a huge project. It's going to be busy. I might have to work late a lot." "Okay. You shouldn't work so hard either. You look really tan lately." I didn't respond, placing the folded clothes into the wardrobe. "Hairs, mine, separad." The phone buzzed on the table again. She picked it up, fingers flying across the screen. The corners of her mouth turned up. I stood in front of the closet, staring at the pile of clothes. Suddenly, it all felt pointless. She finished the soup and cleared the table. "I have the early shift tomorrow, so I'm going to shower and sleep." She went into the bathroom, and the sound of rushing water filled the small apartment. I sat on the edge of the bed, pulled out a cigarette, then put it back. Audrey hated the smell of smoke. When she came out, she was wearing a sheet mask, lying in bed scrolling through her phone. Her fingers swiped rapidly, occasionally letting out a laugh. "I want to take a shower." When I came out, she had taken off the mask and was lying on her side back to me. Seemed like she was asleep. I turned off the main light, leaving a small lamp on. Her phone vibrated under her pillow. She didn't move. I lay down, eyes open, staring at the ceiling. A long time later, I heard her turn over very gently. The faint light of a phone screen illuminated the dark, then quickly went black. The next day, I swapped shifts and had the afternoon off. I rode past the mall near Audrey's office, thinking about buying her lipstick. She had mentioned wanting a specific shade a few days ago, but it was always out of stock. I parked, went into the department store, and headed straight for the counter. The sales associate said they had just restocked and grabbed one for me. I paid, turned around, and saw the people in the floor-to-ceiling window of the cafe across the way. Audrey, and that Mr. Thorne. She was wearing a red dress I had never seen before. She was smiling, eating a spoonful of cake, and a man reached out to wipe a smudge of cream from the corner of her mouth. She glared at him playfully, her eyes flirting. I stood there, holding the shopping bag, watching for a moment. Then I turned and walked away. Outside, I tossed the bag into a trash can. A waste of $80. Audrey came home early that evening. She brought a slice of cake, saying it was from a colleague's birthday. I was sitting on a small stool fixing the brakes on my e-bike, my hands covered in grease. She offered me a piece. Try it. The cream is really good. I shook my head. Hand her dirty. She ate it herself, sitting on the high stool nearby, swinging her legs. Caleb, the company might be sending people abroad. Where to? London. For 6 months. She paused. They might give the slot to me. The screwdriver slipped, and my knuckles scraped against the metal, breaking the skin. I sucked on my finger. That's great. Rare opportunity. She hopped off the chair and went to the kitchen to get water. It's just a bit far. Won't see you for 6 months. I didn't answer, just went back to fixing the bike. She came back with the cup, leaning against the doorframe watching me. You don't have anything to say? Be safe, I said. She was silent for a moment, then turned and went into the bedroom. Brake fixed. I washed my hands and went inside. She was already under the covers, facing the wall. I lay down, and she suddenly flipped over to sit up. Caleb, do you not care all if I go? I looked at her. Would it matter if I cared? She opened her mouth, but said nothing. She lay back down, turning her back to me, pulling the duvet tight. You're always like this. Her voice was muffled. In the middle of the night, I heard sniffling. Very quiet, suppressed. I didn't move, staring at the streetlights leaking through the window. A car's headlights swept across the ceiling and vanished. For the next few days, Audrey didn't bring up the London transfer, but she was busier, often coming back after midnight. She smelled of alcohol mixed with that sandalwood cologne. I said, drink less. She kicked off her heels. Client dinners. Can't help it. Once, there was a smudge of lipstick on her collar. She hadn't noticed. I saw it but said nothing. Friday night, I had a rare night off and cooked a few dishes. She called to say she was working late and wouldn't be home for dinner. I sealed the food with plastic wrap and put it in the fridge. I cracked open a beer and sat on the balcony. Downstairs, the Bentley was parked, engine running, hazards flashing. A moment later, Audrey walked out of the building entrance and got into the passenger seat. The car drove off. I finished the last sip of beer and tossed the bottle in the trash. My phone rang. It was Audrey. Caleb, I'm pulling an all-nighter for the project tonight. Won't be back. Okay. Remember to lock the door. I know. I hung up and scrolled through my contacts until I found a number. I'd saved it when I fixed her laptop once, her colleague, Jessica. I dialed. Jessica? It's Caleb, Audrey's boyfriend. Oh, hi. Audrey's working late, and I made some soup. Is it okay if I drop it off now? There was a pause on the other end. Audrey isn't. I don't think she's at the office. The project team had a dinner, but it ended hours ago. Oh, I see. She must have gone somewhere else then. Thanks. No problem. I hung up. I sat on the balcony until midnight. Then I got up, took the food out of the fridge, and dumped it all in the trash. When Audrey came back the next day, she looked exhausted. I'm dead. The project is finally almost over. I was sitting on the couch watching a game. I didn't respond. She showered and came out, sitting next to me. Let's go to the movies this weekend. We haven't been in ages. I'm scheduled to work this weekend. She pouted. Can't you switch shifts? Can't, I said. Need the money. She glanced at me, saying nothing more. She picked up her phone and scrolled. Suddenly, she sat up straight. Did you call Jessica yesterday? Yeah. Why did you call her? Wondered why you weren't answering if you were just working overtime. My eyes didn't leave the TV. I was busy at the time, didn't check my phone. Okay. She stared at the side of my face for a while. Caleb, do you not trust me? A goal was scored on TV, and the crowd cheered loudly. I took a sip of beer. I trust you, I said. She stood up, went into the bedroom, and slammed the door. I kept watching the game. The beer tasted bitter. Audrey started packing. She said the transfer was confirmed, and she was leaving next week. 6 months goes by fast, she said, folding clothes. When I get back, I'll get a promotion and a raise. I dragged her suitcase out and wiped off the dust. London is wet. Bring a raincoat. She looked up at me. I looked down, fixing the zipper on the suitcase. The teeth were jammed. Caleb, her voice turned cold. Sometimes I feel like you don't need me at all. The zipper finally slid past the jam. I straightened up. Need you for what? She was speechless, glaring at me. Need you to come home at midnight every night? Need you smelling like someone else's cologne? Need you to lie about overtime when you're actually on a date? I said it all in one breath, a little out of wind. My heart was pounding hard. Her face went pale. You stalked me? I don't have that kind of time, I said. I saw it by accident. So you knew the whole time? She twisted the corner of her mouth. And you just pretended nothing was happening? What else? I looked at her. Make a scene in the street? Or get on my knees and beg you not to go? She took a deep breath and nodded. Fine, Galib, you're a real piece of work. She threw the clothes in her hand into the suitcase. Yes, I'm with Julian Thorne. He can give me the life I want. Can you? No, I said. I can just deliver food. She glared at me, eyes red. You're always like this. No ambition, satisfied with the status quo. I've been with you for 5 years. What have you given me? Living in this crappy rental, counting pennies for utilities. You can't even afford a decent bottle of perfume. I didn't speak. She wiped her face. I've had enough, Caleb. Then let's break up, I said. My voice was calm, which surprised even me. She froze, then let out a cold laugh. Fine, break up. You don't care anyway. She zipped up the suitcase and dragged it toward the door. At the threshold, she looked back. Caleb, you never actually loved me, did you? I stood there, motionless. She slammed the door and left. The sound of her heels faded down the hallway. I crouched down and picked up a single earring she had dropped on the floor. A tiny pearl stud I gave her for her birthday last year. She had hugged me then, saying she loved pearls because they were gentle. Now only one was left. It took 3 days after Audrey moved out for me to pack up the things she left behind. I boxed them up and shoved them under the bed. Life went on as usual, delivering orders, eating, sleeping. The only change was that I could smoke on the balcony now. No one to complain. Once, delivering to an office building, I ran into Jessica in the elevator. She looked awkward and nodded at me. Audrey, she went to London. I know. Actually, Mr. Thor didn't get divorced. He's just playing around, she whispered. I smiled slightly. Nothing to do with me anymore. The elevator arrived, and I walked out with the food. Caleb, she called after me. Are you okay? I'm good, I said. Busy. Gotta run. I really was good. Except sometimes waking up in the middle of the night, reaching over out of habit. Empty space. Then remembering, oh, right, we broke up. Then I lie back down, eyes open until dawn. My e-bike broke down once, ran over a nail. I pushed it to the shop, and the mechanic said the tire was shot, had to be replaced. $60. I gritted my teeth and paid it. Squatting by the curb watching him change the tire, my phone rang. Unknown number. I picked up. It was Audrey. Background noise was loud. She was crying. Caleb, he lied to me. He never planned to divorce her. I didn't speak. I'm all alone in London. The corporate housing is so small. I want to eat your braised pork. The mechanic called out, all set, give it a try. Audrey paused. Where are you? Who are you talking to? Fixing my bike. If that's it, I'm hanging up. Caleb, her voice cracked with tears. Can't you at least comfort me? Comfort you for what? I kicked the tire lightly. You chose the road. I hung up, paid, and rode off to take the next order. That night, I got a text from her. I'm sorry. I didn't reply. A while later, another one. I'm going to hate you. I locked the screen and turned over to sleep. 3 months later, on a rainy night, I was woken by knocking. I checked my watch. 2 a.m. I shuffled to the door in my slippers. Audrey was standing there, soaked to the bone, hair plastered to her face. Makeup smeared, eyeliner running, looking like a mess. She was holding a small carry-on. Got a light? She asked. I pulled out my lighter and handed it to her. She took it, dug a cigarette out of her wet purse, and lit up. Took a deep drag, blew a smoke ring. The rain pounded outside. An motion sensor light in the hallway flickered off. In the dark, there was only the cherry-red glow of the cigarette. Just a smoke, and then you're going? I asked. She laughed nasally. Unless you want me staying in this dump for the holidays? I nodded. True, I don't have the square footage for you. She suddenly stubbed out the cigarette. Caleb, aren't you going to ask why I came back? I looked at her, silent. The sensor light flicked back on, illuminating her red-rimmed eyes. His wife found out and came to London. It got ugly. She pulled a grimace. Lost the job, spent all the money. Rainwater dripped from the ends of her hair, forming a small puddle on the floor. So you came back, I said. Yeah, nowhere else to go. She looked up at me. Can I crash for one night? I stepped aside. Couch or floor, your pick. She dragged her suitcase in, bringing a damp chill with her. I tossed her a dry towel and an old t-shirt. Go take a hot shower. Don't get sick. She caught them, glancing at me. You used to hug me. I bent down to pick up her wet coat and hung it up. Used to is used to. She came out of the shower wearing my t-shirt, him hitting her thighs. Her hair was dripping wet, and she sat on the couch toweling it dry. I poured a glass of hot water and put it on the coffee table. Thanks, she whispered. Sleep. I have an early shift. I threw a blanket at her and went back to the bedroom. Lying in bed, I heard rustling noises outside. Then, very faint sobbing. I stared at the sliver of light under the door until it went out. The next day, I got up at 6. Audrey was curled up on the couch, still asleep. The blanket had fallen to the floor, and the t-shirt had ridden up to her waist. I gently picked up the blanket and covered her. She stirred but didn't wake. I went out for the morning rush and came back at noon to grab charger. She was up, sitting on the couch on her phone. Seeing me, she put the phone down. You're back. Forgot something. I went to the bedroom for the charger. She followed me to the doorway. I made noodles. Want some? Already ate. I found the charger and turned to leave. She blocked my way. Let's talk. About what? I'll move back in for a while. She looked down. I'll move out once I find a job. Suit yourself. I stepped around her. Caleb. She grabbed my arm. Can you not be like this? I looked back at her. Like what? Cold. Like a stranger. I laughed. What do you expect? A welcome home party? A celebration because you got dumped and have nowhere to go. Her face went white, and she let go. I know you hate me. I don't hate you, I said. Don't have the energy for it. She stared at me. Then why did you let me stay? Hallway's too cold. Didn't want you freezing to death. I opened the door. Leaving. When I came back that night, she was still there. Several takeout containers were on the coffee table. She was painting her nails red. Saved you some fried rice. She pointed to the kitchen. Ate, I said, heading straight for the shower. When I came out, she was blocking the bathroom door. Caleb, let's get back together. My hand, dry my hair, paused. What? I said, let's get back together. She looked me in the eye. I know I was wrong. I'll be good to you from now on. I resumed, towel drying my hair. No point. You clearly still care about me. 5 years of history, and you think you can just let it go? You're the one who couldn't let go. I pull her off me. Audrey, you chose your path. Don't look back for me. Her eyes reddened. Can't you just give me one more chance? No, I said flatly. She raised her hand to slap me, but I caught her wrist. Stop it. Go to sleep. I shook off her hand, went into the bedroom, and locked the door. It was quiet outside for a moment, then came the sound of things being thrown. I put on my headphones and started a game. Audrey really settled in. Every day, while I worked, she was at home sending out resumes or going to interviews. When I came back at night, I'd always find dinner ready. I didn't eat it. I ordered my own food. She didn't say anything, just silently cleaned it up. One day, I came home to find the apartment transformed. New curtains, new slipcovers on the couch, even a few throw pillows. She came out of the kitchen wearing an apron. Wash up, dinner's ready. I stood there. Who told you to touch my stuff? Her smile froze. I saw they were getting old. Put it back, I said. Before I get home tomorrow. She slammed the spatula down. Caleb, are you insane? I spent all day cleaning this place. Did I ask you to? Can't I try to be nice to you? Don't need it. I kicked a pillow away from my feet. Stop with the self-righteous act. She rushed over and shoved me. What the hell do you want? I apologized. I tried to fix it. What else do you want from me? I grabbed her wrists. I want you to leave. Now. Immediately. She stopped moving, panting and glaring at me. Then she suddenly laughed. Fine, I'll go. She ripped off the apron. But remember this, Caleb Vance. You will never find anyone who loves you more than I do. That's my problem. She started packing, making a scene of it, banging things around. I sat on the couch playing a game, ignoring her. Packed up, she dragged her suitcase to the door. Asking one last time, Caleb, you really don't want me? My character in the game got headshot. The screen went gray. I looked up. I don't. She nodded and opened the door. You'll regret this. The door closed. I put down the phone and rubbed my temples. It was quiet for 3 days. On the 4th night, I finished my last delivery and went home. The Bentley was parked downstairs. Audrey was leaning against the car door smoking. Seeing me, she straightened up. Talk. Nothing to talk about. She blocked my path. Julian agreed to get a divorce. Congrats. He said as long as I come back, he'll marry me. I looked at her. So I came to tell you, Caleb. I don't need you. I know, I said. You never did. She leaned in, smelling of alcohol and expensive perfume. Guess why he suddenly changed his mind? I didn't speak. I told him I'm pregnant. She smirked. Yours. I froze. What did you say? I said, I'm pregnant with your child. She blew out smoke. 2 months. Hysterique. Impossible. Why impossible? She raised a brow. Before we broke up that one time, you didn't use protection. I remembered. There was one time. She initiated it. She was drunk. On the couch, kind of rushed. We really didn't use anything. I'm gonna get the marriage license with him tomorrow. She stubbed out the cigarette. I'll have a kid and make him call Julian daddy. She laughed. Exciting, isn't it? I grab her arm. Are you crazy? Yeah, crazy. She looked at me. You drove me to it. Get an abortion, I said. I'll go with you to the clinic. Why should I? You can't do this. I'm going to. She shook me off. Caleb, this is what you owe me. She pulled the car door open and got in. Rolled down the window. Wait for the invite, ex-boyfriend. The car drove off. I stood there, the night wind cutting right through me. I didn't sleep all night. At dawn, I called Audrey. Phone off. Sent a text. Blocked. I went to her old office to ask. They said she left ages ago. Jessica was evasive, but mentioned Audrey went to Chicago with Mr. Thorne. I took time off and bought the earliest train ticket to Chicago. I kept dialing her number on the train, always off. It was raining when I got out of the station. I didn't have an umbrella. I found the gated community based on the address Jessica gave me. Security wouldn't let me in. I said I was looking for Audrey Miller. When I signed the log, I saw Julian Thorne's name. I waited 2 hours until I saw the Bentley drive out. Julian was driving, Audrey in the passenger seat. I ran out to block the car. The screech of brakes was piercing. Julian rolled down the window and yelled, "You got a death wish?" Audrey saw me, her face changing color. "Get out," I said to her. Julian turned to her. "You know him?" Audrey pursed her lips. "Don't know him. Must have the wrong person." I slapped the window. "Audrey, get out. We need to talk." Julian frowned. "What's going on?" Audrey suddenly opened the door and stepped out, pulling me aside. "You followed me?" "The baby." "Explain." She chuckled. I lied. "There is no baby." I froze. "You played me?" "Yep." She raised a brow. "Looking at how panicked you were?" "Hilarious." "Why?" "Revenge." She leaned close. "Wanted you to know what it feels like to be played." Julian honked the horn. "Audrey, hurry up." She turned to leave. I grabbed her. "Come back with me." "Let go." She yanked her hand away. "Caleb, we're done." "Long done." "Not done." I stared at her. "You don't get to decide that." Julian got out of the car and walked over. "What are you doing?" "Harassing my girlfriend." I glanced at him. "She's my ex. Ex-boyfriends should know their place." Julian shoved me. "Get lost." I didn't move. Audrey suddenly spoke up. "Caleb, if you keep this up, I'm calling the cops." I looked into her eyes. There was nothing there. "Fine." I let go. "You win." I turned and walked away. The rain fell harder, soaking me through. I heard the car door slam behind me, engine revving. The car passed me, splashing water. On the train back, I got a text from Audrey. "Don't come looking for me again. I'm getting married." I didn't reply. A moment later, another one. "I actually did love you." "Really?" I shoved the phone back in my pocket. It was midnight when I got home. Pushed open the door. The room still held traces of her. New curtains, new slipcovers. Her pajamas drying on the balcony, forgotten. I yanked them down and threw them in the trash. Showering, I found her shampoo on the rack. Half a bottle left. Unscrewed it, poured it out. Threw the bottle in the trash. Looking at the pile of stuff, I suddenly felt exhausted. Phone rang. Unknown number. I picked up. It was Audrey. Background was quiet, like she was alone. "You home?" "Yeah. About today." "Sorry." I didn't speak. Julian agreed to open a studio for me. Fashion design. Her voice was soft. "I've always wanted to do that." "Congrats." "Caleb, let's leave it here." "Should have been here a long time ago," I said. She was silent for a moment. Then, "Goodbye." "Yeah." I hung up and sat on the couch staring into space. Just before dawn, I got up and gathered everything of hers left in the apartment, stuffed it into garbage bags, and threw it in the dumpster downstairs. Coming back up, I saw a single earring on the coffee table. The pearl one from that pair I gave her. Just this one left. I picked it up, held it in my hand for a moment. Then I opened the window and threw it out. Life returned to normal track. I went back to the rhythm of deliveries, eating, sleeping. Occasionally seeing a Bentley outside a mall would make me look twice. But I never saw Audrey again. Jessica contacted me once, saying Audrey's studio opened and business was good. "She really seems pregnant this time." Saw her at the hospital for a checkup. "Okay," I said. "Mr. Thorne's wife came back from overseas. The divorce is getting messy. Nothing to do with me." Before hanging up, Jessica suddenly said, "Caleb, Audrey actually." "Don't." I cut her off. "It's all in the past." It really was past. Like a scabbed wound, don't touch it, and it doesn't hurt. Just sometimes delivering to places we used to go together, I'd zone out for a second. Then head to the next order. One late night after work, buying cigarettes at a convenience store, I ran into a young couple arguing. The girl was crying. "You don't care about me at all." The boy looked helpless. How do I not care? Familiar dialogue. I paid and walked out. Lighting up, my phone vibrated. A text from Audrey. If I hadn't left back then, Where would we be now? I stared at the words for a long time. Then I deleted it and blocked the number. Finished the cigarette, got on my bike, and went home. The streetlights stretched my shadow long and thin. Being alone wasn't so bad. After the first snow of winter, I switched to a heavy duvet, but it was still cold. Remembered Audrey was always cold. Used to ice my hands and feet against my body to warm up. Now I just used a hot water bottle. I wiped out on a delivery. Snowy roads were slippery. Food spilled. Paid the customer out of pocket. Still got a bad review. Squatting by the road, cleaning up the mess, my phone rang. Audrey calling from a new number. Caleb. Her voice was thick with tears. Can I see you? State your business. I'm at the hospital. Lost the baby. I paused. He pushed me. Down the stairs. She choked up. So much blood. Did you call the police? No. His wife's family is all there. I'm scared. I stood up. Which hospital? She gave the address. I rushed over. She was in a private room in the gynecology ward. Pale face for drip in her arm. Seeing me, tears fell. Caleb. I pulled up a chair. What happened? His wife brought people to the studio to cause a scene. In the shoving match, I fell down the stairs. She grabbed my hand. The baby is gone. I let her hold it, saying nothing. A nurse came in to change the forebag. Saw me. Family member needs to handle the paperwork. I stood up. Audrey looked nervous. Don't go. Just doing the paperwork, I said. Back soon. Went downstairs to pay. Coming back, I heard nurses gossiping at the station in the hallway. The one in 302. She's the mistress. The wife showed up, and that's how it happened. Serves her right, breaking up a family. I didn't stop, walking straight back to the room. Audrey was watching me, eyes wide. Were they talking about me? Don't overthink it. She smiled bitterly. Even the nurses looked down on me. I handed her some water. Rest. She lay down, closed her eyes, then opened them quickly. Caleb, do you hate me? No. Why? After how I treated you. Hating you implies I care, I said. You made your choices, just live with them. She turned to look out the window. Snow was still falling. I regret it. Her voice was very soft. I didn't respond. Sat for a while, then stood up. I covered the medical bills. Get some rest. She suddenly sat up. Don't go. Stay with me. Just tonight. I looked at her tears and felt no softening in my heart. Not appropriate. I opened the door, hearing her suppressed sobbing behind me. 3 days later, Audrey was discharged. I picked her up in a rental car. She looked much better. Seeing the car, she paused. You bought this? Rent it. I loaded her luggage. Where to? She gave me a hotel name. The drive was quiet. Waiting at a red light, she suddenly spoke. He didn't come to see me once. Normal. I lost my job for him, lost the baby, and he's just like this. I didn't offer an opinion. Arrived at the hotel, helped her check in, walked her to the room door. Thanks. She took the luggage. I'll Venmo you the money. No rush. She stood at the door, not going in. Caleb. There's no we, I said. Hasn't been for a long time. She looked down. I know it's impossible. It's just, occasionally I think if back then. There are no ifs. I cut her off. Bye. I turned and hit the elevator button. Heard the door close behind me. Elevator arrived. I stepped in, watching the numbers drop. I felt unusually calm. Leaving the hotel, the snow had stopped. Sunlight hit the snow drifts, blindingly bright. I squinted, pulled out my phone, and blocked Audrey's new number 2. Then I opened the driver app, confirming the first order of the day. The road was long. Had to keep moving. The second day after the snow, the roads were covered in black ice. I rode extra carefully, speed down, taking fewer orders than usual. Lunch at my regular noodle spot. The owner was staring at the local news on the TV and suddenly went, huh? Hey, Caleb, isn't that your... I looked up. On the screen was the sign for Audrey's studio. In front of the camera, Julian Thorne's wife, a stern-looking middle-aged woman, was speaking into a microphone with an accusation. She abused her position to embezzle company assets and transfer funds privately. We have substantial evidence. The screen cut to Audrey being escorted out of the studio by 2 women holding her arms. Her head was down, long hair covering her face, but I recognized the silhouette instantly. A reporter's microphone was practically jammed in her face. Ms. Miller, do you have a response to Mrs. Thorne's allegations? Ms. Miller, are the rumors true that you intervened in a marriage for financial gain? She snapped her head up, face deathly pale, lips trembling, but didn't say a word. The camera caught her red-rimmed eyes and a thin scratch on her cheek. I put down my chopsticks. The noodles had lost their taste. The owner awkwardly changed the channel. Eat. Don't watch that garbage. I paid and walked out. The cold wind hit me, clearing my head a bit. Phone buzzed in my pocket. A local, unknown number. Picked it up. It was Audrey, voice hoarse, sounding desperate. Caleb, help me. I stood on the street corner, watching the traffic. Talk. They called the cops. Said I embezzled. They're going to arrest me. She was incoherent. Julian, that bastard, he pinned everything on me. He told me to transfer the money. Now he says he didn't know. Where are you? Police station. Just finished giving a statement. They released me pending investigation. I can't go home. His wife's family is waiting outside. She started crying. I have nowhere to go. Caleb, you're the only one who can help me. I pinched the bridge of my nose. Address. She gave me the precinct location. I hung up, got on my bike, and turned around. There were a few reporters at the precinct entrance. Audrey was huddled on a bench in the corner, wrapped in an oversized coat that didn't fit, probably lent by a female officer. Seeing me, her eyes lit up for a second, then went dim. I walked over. Status. She shook her head, tears falling. They said I might be detained. If the evidence holds up, prison time. I sat next to her. Lawyer. I had one, introduced by Julian before. Just called him, said conflict of interest, dropped me. She grabbed my arm, fingers freezing. Caleb, do you know a decent lawyer? Please. I removed her hand. I don't. The light in her eyes went out completely. She lowered her head, shoulders shaking. It's over. It's really over this time. Watching her like this, I didn't feel much. Hate, long gone. Pity, didn't seem to be much of that either. Just felt, why bring yourself to this point? A female officer walked over. Audrey Miller? Is family here? Sign the paperwork. You can go for now. Keep your phone on. Audrey shot her head up to look at me, begging. I stood up. I'm a friend. The officer looked me over. Follow me. Paperwork done. I led her out of the station. Reporters tried to swarm. I blocked the cameras, dragging her quickly to the street corner and hailing a cab. She gave a hotel name, the same one as last time. In the car, she stared out the window, silent. Arriving at the hotel, she wouldn't get out. My ID might be flagged by them. I'm scared to use it. I paid a fare and got out. She followed, standing in the cold wind, shivering. Go to my place, I said. She looked up sharply, disbelief on her face. I didn't look at her, reaching out to flag an empty taxi. Back at the rental, she stood timidly at the door, afraid to enter. I took off my jacket. Sit anywhere. She walked in slowly, scanning the room, gaze lingering on the new curtains on the balcony for a second. You didn't change them back. Too much hassle. I poured her a glass of hot water. Make do. Reporters won't find this place. She took the cup, warming her hands, whispering, thank you. Don't mention it. I grab a charger. I'm going to work. She stood up hurriedly. Are you coming back tonight? Depends. I opened the door. Food in the fridge. Help yourself. Closing the door, I saw her standing there, cupping the hot water, eyes red again. I intentionally took long-distance orders that night, getting back to the city past 10. Thought about it, then went home anyway. The hallway was quiet, sensor lights flicking on with my steps. A trash bag was tied neatly outside my door, full of takeout boxes. Pushed inside, the living room had a small lamp on, empty. Couch was tidied, blanket folded square. Kitchen was spotless. I walked to the bedroom door. It was ajar. Audrey was lying on my bed, fully clothed, curled up, seemingly asleep. On the nightstand sat that familiar pearl earring, looking lonely. I backed out, gently pulling the door to. Lay down on the couch, head on my arm, staring at the ceiling. She used to complain the couch was too small, hurt her back, insisted on squeezing into the bed. Now she wasn't picky. For the next few days, she hid inside during the day. When I came back at night, she'd have dinner made. I still didn't eat it, ordering my own. She didn't push, silently eating and cleaning up. Once I came back and saw her on the balcony, using my old phone to make calls, voice frantic. Jessica, is there really no wiggle room? I could take a pay cut, just need to leave here ASAP. Mr. Zhang, that project I managed before, can the final payment? Mom, I'm fine, just busy with work. Yeah, he treats me well. Hanging up, she stared out the window in a daze, not noticing me. I coughed. She jumped, turned, forced a smile. You're back. Yeah. I dropped my keys. She hesitated. Asked around. A design studio down south is willing to take me, but they need a deposit. I don't have enough cash. Julian froze all the accounts. I didn't speak. She lowered her head. Never mind. I'll figure something out. The next day, I went to the bank and withdrew $10,000 in cash. Most of my savings. That night, I put the money on the coffee table. Enough. She stared at the stack of bills, stunned. Caleb, consider a loan, I said. Write an I. Oh, you. Her eyes reddened. She found paper and pen, seriously wrote out the note, signed it, pressed her thumbprint. She handed me the paper, fingers trembling slightly. I will pay you back. Up to you. I pocketed the note. She picked up the money, didn't count it, clutching it tight. Buy a ticket for the day after tomorrow, I said. Leave early. She nodded, tears finally falling, hitting the cash. The night before she left, she cooked a lot of dishes, filled the table. Think of it as a farewell dinner, she said. I sat down, picked up my chopsticks. She put a piece of braised pork in my bowl, my favorite back in the day. Try it. Haven't made it in a long time. I ate it. Taste hadn't changed. Watching my expression, she let out a breath and started eating too. The meal was very quiet. After eating, she fought to do the dishes. Sitting on the couch, I heard the rushing water from the kitchen and her suppressed, broken sobbing. Dishes done, she came out, standing in the middle of the living room. I'm all packed. She pointed to the suitcase in the corner. Okay. I checked the time. Sleep early. I'll drive you to the airport in the morning. She didn't move. Caleb, can I hug you? Just once. I shook my head. No need. She forced the corner of her mouth up. Okay. Turned and went into the bedroom. Early the next morning, I drove her to the airport. Rental hadn't expired yet. On the way, she kept watching the scenery flying by outside. Leaving now, I realized this city is actually pretty beautiful, she said. I didn't answer. Arrived at the terminal, printed the boarding pass, checked the bag. Everything done, still had time before boarding. We sat in the waiting area, watching people rush by. Caleb, she suddenly said. I'm sorry. Said there's no need. There is. She looked at me. Sorry for exploiting your kindness. Sorry for treating you like that before. Sorry for wasting so many of your years. The broadcast announced boarding. She stood up, picking up her small bag. I'm going. Yeah. She walked forward, didn't look back, blending into the queue. I stood there, watching her back disappear into the crowd. My heart felt empty for a second, then immediately replaced by a massive sense of relief. Turned around, left the airport, drove back to the city. The sun was good, snow melted, roads clean. Waiting at a light, I took out my phone and deleted all of Audrey's contact info. Included the photo of that eye. Oh, you. Note. Tossed it all in the trash folder. Empty. Then I opened the DoorDash app, hit Dash Now. The notification chimed instantly. New order, new address. I put on my helmet, twisted the throttle, and merged into traffic. Days passed one by one. I kept delivering through wind and rain. Occasionally thought of Audrey, but the thought flashed and vanished, leaving no trace. One day passing that bistro, the owner called out to me. Haven't seen you order the lobster bisque in a while. I paused, smiled. Changed my taste. True, get sick of eating the same thing. The owner said, clam chowder is good today, want some? Sure. 3 months later, I received a transfer of $10,000 from an unknown account. The memo had just 3 words, paid you back. I didn't reply, just blocked the account. Afternoon, delivering to a new complex, got lost, circled a few times before finding the building number. The customer was a young girl. She opened the door still on the phone, tone flirtatious. Ugh, I know, coming down right now. Where did you park? She signed for the food, smiling and thanking me. In the corners of her eyes and brows, that familiar, radiant look of being in love. I nodded, turned, and walked into the elevator. The elevator went down, numbers changing constantly. Just like life, always heading toward the unknown, always moving forward. Story complete.